So, dude, first off, this is so funny because we're all hitting it off, but I don't even know your name.
Oh, my name's Dave, Benedetto.
Yeah.
So that's Latin for well blessed. Bene.
Is it really?
What's that?
Is it really Latin for?
It is. It's actually Latin.
What,
yeah.
Dave or your
Well,
last
if you go
name?
down to the roots of the more
Dave is Latin. Dave is Spanish for Greek god. It's like,
Dave-
dude, no, it's not.
No, Dave,
Here's Dave.
yeah, no, Dave is Spanish for watching Cheech and Chong. The first time I had my first date with a girl, and me and my buddy laughing our butts off when I was like, Dave's not here. You guys are too dated for Cheech and
No,
Chong, huh?
I know what Cheech and Chong
One of
is.
the first times that I ever got high.
Really?
Was for Cheech and Chong?
Up and smoke.
You have to.
Double bubble.
Bro,
You have to watch it
had
high.
to stop the movie. I was laughing so hard.
Dude, why is it that
It's
the
a
first time
hilarious high.
anybody ever
Yeah.
gets high that and I'm not saying this because this is a teaching podcast.
No,
I'm like, I don't get high.
that's
No,
fine.
I really don't because it gives me so much anxiety. Like I can't.
So you go the opposite direction.
If I smoke, I literally think everyone around me is a Satanist.
Really?
Like
Damn,
I
your
just,
mind,
I get
your mind goes there.
paranoid.
Oh, yeah.
But what I will say is the first time I ever got high, laughed so hard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and you'll laugh at
Laugh so
anything.
hard.
You'll be like watching Air Force One, going, "Hey, he's still on the
yeah.
plane, man. Get off the plane. What are you doing, Harrison Ford?"
But you
That
know-
wears off though.
Yeah. I mean, it's good, but you know what I can't do? I cannot do edibles. Now that gives me paranoia.
Dude, yes.
I can't do edibles. Every time I had an edible, I had a panic attack every time, bro.
I called
Yeah,
911.
it just bothers my mind go crazy.
Like ruminations, like
Just
like
over- just-
snowball, like somebody doesn't like say hi, and you're like, why didn't they say hi? Why didn't they say hi? You know?
It'd be some stuff like that.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah. Same.
exactly
Okay.
like that. Yes,
Every
Just
negative
overthink.
thought that you've ever had just all comes at once.
Everything.
Right.
Everything that's bothered me in my life comes to light. Everything that I'm thinking about, worried about, I'm thinking about the whole time. If I do an edible.
Yeah, and you can't control it. It's like
Yeah.
all your negative thoughts hop in a Lamborghini and
Yeah.
floor it to the front of your brain,
Yeah.
and then you're just like, ugh. It's like,
and it
it's
just
not-
sneak up on you. You just be chilling. I would say, "Oh, what was that?" It just sneak up on you. Like
It's
if
terrible.
You smoke,
Mine
you
is
feel
when
it
I-
coming.
Yeah.
Edible, it just hits you all of a sudden.
I can't
Like,
do it.
Yeah,
I can't do
An
it.
hour later, you know what I'm saying?
I don't.
Yeah.
I can't smoke. I can't. Yeah, I stay away from it because I'm too crazy. Even CBD, I can't even really do CBD. That's how sensitive I am to it.
Well,
Which
wait
is-
till you're about in your third year of teaching, and you'll definitely be coming in with the needle, just slapping that wrist, going, "All right."
Oh, I do
got
heroin.
some
I didn't say I don't do
experience.
heroin. I do heroin still. Why do you think I'm wearing a jean jacket? I gotta hide
Oh, okay.
the track marks. You know,
All right.
it's like a braille.
Only show your wrists on Fridays. I got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, on free dress day, they're like, "Why do you have a bunch of spots on your arm?" I'm like, "It's because of you."
Yeah.
So,
We're
dude,
gonna study constellations.
yeah, today we're gonna study the Big Dipper, and then you just fall over and hit your
That's
head.
how. Yeah.
Big spoon.
So how long have you been teaching?
Let's see, what's today? Thursday? I've been teaching 25 years. This is my 25th year.
25th
See all the
year.
wrinkles? Look like
Dude, you look pretty good
Yeah,
for
how
teaching
good.
25.
Yeah.
Hair.
You should look like the
finasteride.
Crypt
I
Keeper.
Yeah, I
started
know
doing
what you're doing.
finasteride.
I do finasteride too.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I got a full head of hair.
Wow, dude.
But, dude,
Jesus.
You should look like the
helped
Crypt
him.
Keeper.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate
So-
it. The Crypt Keeper.
Yeah, you're like, I take it, I take it.
Dude, when I was born, you were still in itching your dad's pants, I'm guessing.
I'm
Like,
in my
how old are you?
30s.
You're in
you
your
know?
30s?
I'm in 30s, yeah.
Okay.
I just dress like I'm 8.
He's a grown man, all right?
Are those authentic Oshkosh jeans? Is that?
Yeah, I got them at Baby Gap.
Okay. All right.
But 25 years is
Yep.
6th grade the entire time.
Sixth grade the whole time. It's really simple formula. You want to get them where you can still shape them a little bit. The clay hasn't hardened. You want to be able to just, a little independent time for once in a while where you're planning your lessons and what have you, or assessing or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't need 300 hugs a day.
Yeah.
That's your second grade.
Yeah.
8th and 9th grade is, by then the clay's hardened, and you
Yeah.
can't shape him because it's like you're looking at this 14-year-old, his voice is changing. You want him to do homework, and he's wondering why he's got hair on his kneecaps. And he's going, dude, I don't have time for this. And you're like, yeah, you're right, because your parents have spent 14 years shaping you, and I only get you for 9 months.
Absolutely.
So it's too limited a time amount. It's a time issue. There's time in 6th grade to shape a kid.
Now you're teaching.
I agree.
Yeah.
Is it a self-contained class, or are you just teaching 2 subjects?
Or we do cattle drive. We put a bell on the smartest kid. They just go next.
Right.
And migrate, immigrate, propagate. Well, not propagate. That's next year. You know.
So do you ever? I was actually working on a stand-up bit to where watching kids transition from 6th to 7th grade is like watching.
Wait, transition. Wait, can you explain that?
Not
I identify as an F student.
Yeah, I identify as an F student. No, like whenever you watch them make that leap from 6th grade to 7th grade, it's like watching a vampire transform in Blade.
Yeah.
Because it's like that shift is so paramount. And Chris was the first person who told me that you were like, I love 6th graders.
Because
you know?
6th grade is that final year, I would say, of almost full year of childhood. Yeah. But it's like right towards the end where you probably say it where you're like, oh God, it's happening. You know? And
absolutely agree. It's like, but the beauty of it though, just to be positive here, is that no matter how much Netflix or, you know, occasional, I'm not going to say hamster hub, but you get the idea. You know, the influences that are outside the older brothers, you know, they still want to please you, man.
In 6th grade, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Because I teach a 6th grade math tutorial, and then 7th grade is the regular classes. 6th grade, every time I see them, I'm like, "What's up, guys?"
Yeah, dude. There's
And
so
you can't do that with adults. Like, get away from me.
Yeah, they get pepper sprayed if you're like, hey.
6th graders, you can make faces, you can make voices, all that. 7th grade,
too cool. Too cool for school.
7th grade, you have a restraining order.
Zoe deals mostly with elementary. So do you deal with 6th graders at all?
We have 6th graders too.
You have 6th graders, okay.
Yeah, it stops at 6.
Gotcha.
And they're the coolest kids ever.
Isn't that interesting that 6th used to not even be part of middle school?
Yeah,
it was like they got drafted into that.
Yeah, they definitely got drafted. I think I don't know why that is, but I know when I teach my kids, I'm always providing perspective. For example, if teachers always send me their worst kids. So I'm kind of where the buck stops, you know, like just for a daily, you know, Mr. Holland's Opus moment. Let me turn them around for.
You ever like J.K. Simmons and Whiplash, where you just throw something at them?
Yeah, you know, okay. Here's what I throw at them. Here's what I throw at them to piggyback on what you're saying. I'll come in. First of all, they're used to being yelled at their whole lives.
Okay.
Usually,
absolutely,
you know? So you got to go the opposite approach. You know what I'm saying? So I'll sit them down, and I'm sitting next to me, chair, and I go the Bruce Willis approach. You know, I don't go screaming, yelling. I just go. You know, and I put something on the screen too. And what I'll put on the screen, while all the kids are working, they're next to my computer, so we're just all in the moment.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
And what I'll do is I'll put the pictures of the poorest kids ever. I mean, it doesn't matter what country, just poorest, dilapidated. You know, he's trying to get a bug for dinner. You know, just horrible, decrepit.
I'm not laughing
photos.
at this.
No, that was my intention. We can feel two things at once.
I don't want to be like, you can't. It's like it's very sad, and you're like malnourished. I'm like,
so
all right, who ate my bug?
Exactly.
Who ate my bug?
Right.
So I get in that context. I sit them next to me, and I just go, "What do you see? What do you see?" And they're like, "Oh, sad people, yeah."
Sad people.
You're like, yeah, and they'll start to observe it, and they get down to that level. Because
Yeah.
when you're shocked, you just go along to get along. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So kind of shock them a little bit. You see everybody else working? Yeah. What do your parents do? Do they work? Yeah. Do they do this? Yeah. Do they buy any shiny stuff? Yeah. Do they put food on your table, clothes in your bag? Well, they don't dress me. Shut up. Pay attention.
Yeah.
Do they do all these things for you, right? Yeah. What do they want in return? I don't know. They want to be proud of you. So you kind of set up the scenario like that. I think the yelling doesn't work, you know, because they're so used to yelling. You know what I mean?
They become rebellious real fast.
Yeah.
What would you advise if you are an electives teacher that does have that is a dumping ground? You have 40.
Wait a second. I was here to talk about math.
Counseling.
I heard Pythagoras was coming in. I don't know what's going on here.
Do you think that'll work for seventh grade kids in drama when there's 40 at a time?
Okay, a couple things. One, you need to take a cattle herd mentality. All right. I was at I'm not gonna say what school I'm at now, but the school I was at was even tougher, and they would all go into the bathrooms, light the trash cans on fire. There was little mini riots. You know, kids would run into the classrooms like, "Hey, I got my 12 o'clock beating," and just punch a kid and run out like it was an appointment. You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
No, you're gonna come back at 1 o'clock. I'm teaching. Okay, all right. I'll see you soon. Okay. So the thing about it is, my point is, there's a herd mentality, especially with the hormones, man. So
Absolutely.
the number one thing you got to deal with in 7th grade, it's accepting the fact that the behavior issue has everything to do with energy level. So first things first, dude, you have them yell, have them scream. If you got a class that comes in for reading or dramatica, okay, just have them read out loud until you wear them the F out, man. Or have them do tension release, man. You squeeze your hands tight as you can, relax. You know, bodybuilders. You ever see bodybuilders, right?
Yeah.
They walk off the stage. They're breathing heavy, like they just finished a 976 call. Remember back in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
So they're exhausted. That's the idea. You want to just wipe them out.
So like make them do almost PE warm-ups.
Absolutely, man. There was a
wear them out.
there was a high school chess team from the Bronx, and they were like top country, all that stuff. This was years ago. They would do 45 minutes of calisthenics before they actually played chess. And the idea is you got to get all the blockage out, circulation. You got to get the blood flowing, man. You got to get them relaxed. I mean,
It's funny you say that. I do that with the kids.
You do.
Yeah,
What
you make
grade
them-
do you teach?
It's from 1st to 6th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, I do live theater as well.
What kind of stuff do you do, man?
We just do plays, you know what I'm saying? Alice in the Wonderland, Madagascar. We do like a lot of plays. We're doing Wicked Junior this year. We're doing a whole lot. But what I do, what you say is funny, because it's after school.
Yeah.
So I have free range. So I can take them outside to run and do everything and then bring them back inside to
Yeah.
rehearse. And they be tired, but it keeps them focused.
Keeps them focused because they
wore
can't.
out. Yeah.
Their
Absolutely.
mind's not pinball machining.
Yeah, work smarter, not harder. Like you can do the
Absolutely.
mirror exercise, where they're
done
doing
that.
what you're doing. You can do the volume exercise. You ever do that? So, okay, let's say me and you were doing volume here. Oh, yeah, it's video, so we can actually do this. All right. So, give me an emotion.
Sad.
Okay, we're going to take sad, and then we'll just say the opposite is anger. It's normally happy, but we want to feel like we're part of something here.
Okay.
So, okay, we're going to go with you right now. Okay. So this is a volume control. I'm controlling your face, your volume. Okay. Comes with sound effects too. The higher up I go, the more all of it's happening.
Yeah.
Okay. Look for the subtle nuances as well. All right. So this is going to be incredibly effing angry. This is going to be incredibly effing sad.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Okay. You ready? Okay. Okay, let me hear it. Let me hear it. What's it sound like? What's it sound like? Nice.
I thought it's sad. That's sad.
There you go. Nice. What will your arms do? Make a choice. Make a choice. Nice. And then you just go like this with them a little bit, and then they're done.
They're done.
You know?
Yeah,
That would be a
it's-
good acting exercise.
It is a good acting exercise.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that we do, but I think that doing those warm-ups, it's the physical thing, I think is
Yeah.
because there's just so damn many of them.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like
But you gotta get them in a mindset right away. So we
Yeah,
do
right,
warm-ups
right.
to
Yeah,
get
and the
mindset.
warm-ups is it's just when there's like 40 every hour, you're just like, ah! It feels like a roller coaster that you can't get off of. Sometimes,
Yeah,
you know?
you could do stuff where they've got to go. Oh God, bunny's good. It's a lot of kids, man.
It is. But I want to go back to. So you've been 6th grade the entire time.
6th grade the entire
25
time.
years.
Nothing beats it, man.
Why did you get into teaching? Because you're a funny dude. It seems like you probably could have done a lot of things.
Thank you, man.
Aren't you
My
aren't you the dodgeball person too?
yeah, I did
Okay.
the dodge back
Yeah.
throw and the
Yeah.
lady with
Like
the
he was
issues.
epic in dodgeball. Like he was like breaking records all over the world. You know, what I'm saying?
100%.
You know,
Yeah.
Were you really?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
smashed
I was on
people.
TV for many years, so
Yeah.
Oh, for dodgeball.
yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we're guys. We
Yeah,
take
yeah.
any sport, and just turn it
100%.
into,
Yeah, yeah.
Let me ask this really quickly before we go into that question.
sure.
Piggybacking off Zoe's question. Dodgeballing. Girls, no girls.
So
did the
originally
women, did the women
I
dig it?
started-
Did you see girls doing this with their hair after they saw you get off the court?
He got all the girls.
Hey, I need to increase
Yeah.
my
Man.
surface area.
Yeah, yeah.
More to love. More to love. Here we go. Look at the drapes. So, there was a few girls. I actually originally went there. I was on a blind date, and that was back in 2000. And just got there, had so much fun. Didn't even find the girl. The girls that play dodgeball, they're okay with getting hit in the face. So I'm going to leave that aesthetically to how you want to interpret that. I'm not gonna.
How did you
It's the
feel
one
about
time
that?
it's acceptable to hit a woman is in dodgeball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, it's not like Bill Burr, where it's like, oh, you got to lead with the uppercut. You just throw the ball.
Wherever it lands, it lands.
100%.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
You're a feminist.
And
so.
there's some great teams. There was a team called Ball Busters when we did the National Dodgeball League. There was a team called Ball Busters, all women, but they were great, and they just destroyed the guys, and it was fun. Everybody loves an upset.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be cool, like seeing the WNBA women go and beat the Warriors or something like that. So.
Were the girls like big and like strong?
Were they husky?
I can't see a skinny.
Were
girl.
they husky?
Yeah.
Mark says we can't use the word husky.
No.
Sorry.
Yeah,
FCC.
Exactly.
That's an
Is that a
FCC.
social
Exactly.
media swear word now?
Yeah, is that an FCC or an SPCA? Which nomenclature are we going with here? Nah, there's some beautiful women in dodgeball and attractive men, but Mark can tell you more about that. I don't know on that side of the team, but anyway, yeah, man. What about you? What do you do for the drama? What do you say? You just had him do Alice in Walmart, or what was it?
Alice in Walmart. Yeah. You were suggesting I do Alice in 7-Eleven.
I think
It's a little more appropriate for Los Angeles.
Maybe like
Alice
in IKEA.
No.
Alice
Alice in the Hood.
Alice in the Hood.
Yes.
Dude, that would have been so much more fun. Because it's
The
such
Cheshire
Everybody that
Cat's
story.
really like, he's on
Cheshire
Fifth and
Cat.
Slauson
It's just
going,
Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, he's
it's a
rapper.
chihuahua
Yeah,
instead of a
exactly.
cat.
Right.
It's a Cheshire Chihuahua. Yeah, it's a little bit more hood friendly. And then when Alice pulls up, she's in a low rider with hydraulics.
Exactly.
It's bouncing
It's
up and down
bumping.
like that.
And they're literally playing cards. The Queen of Hearts. They're literally playing.
They're
like,
literally
spades
playing
or
that.
whatever,
Yeah,
funny.
it's dice instead.
How
Dice.
has nobody done
Yeah.
that? That has.
I'm
to,
sure it's a porno.
It's a genius idea.
That should be a sketch. That should be a sketch, honestly.
It should be a movie.
Yeah, you're right.
is what it is.
Ooh.
Alice in the Hood.
Mark, please cut out the porno part. I want to teach tomorrow.
We might need to write that.
Wait, did we say something about that?
I said it's probably been a porno before, but Mark, please edit that part
Oh
out.
no, it's fine.
No, it's not. Dude, I want to keep my
kids
job.
Exactly.
The kids haven't found my page yet because my name is Matt Jones. So
Okay.
his students have probably found me.
well, yeah, they probably found you. I
Yeah.
mean, they found me.
How'd they find you?
It's the
His name.
podcast. So if it wasn't for the podcast, they wouldn't have found me. And so, but now I
They actually
know.
comment
But
on
what
he
would they
says.
just Google your name podcast, or it just pops up? Or sorry, I don't know how this stuff works.
No,
man.
so I don't know exactly how they found it, but then kids started coming up going, "I like your podcast, Mister." And
I like your podcast, bro.
What are you, 85? Yeah, I like what you're doing with the words and the sounds.
Yeah,
exactly.
And they mister.
Hey, mister. You
Yeah.
get respect in your class, huh?
Oh my
Yeah.
God! Well, the eighth graders really love the podcast. The seventh graders
funny.
haven't really found it.
So they're listening to full episodes?
Yeah, like
That's
They-
insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
They're
They leave
laughing
it
in the
comments.
booth. They're like,
They leave
Yeah,
a
and their
comments.
parents are like, I don't want him
Attention
teaching
span.
you.
yeah, like one of the kids came up and was like,
We should have a kid call in.
One of
Your
girls-
kids found the dojo?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
You
Sorry,
just
you were
held it.
saying.
You
I'm
held it.
sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
but one of the girls came up and actually said, "So, are you still looking for hot single moms?"
That's kind of cool, dude. They're
That is
literally
funny.
okay
That
keeping
is
you.
hilarious.
Yeah. So, she said it as a joke, but it's funny. I'm like, oh my God, they're really paying attention to it. But you can tell that they're the kids because all of their screen names sound like burner accounts.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? They don't
Yeah.
sound real. Like
sound
there's
Like Ballsack 69.
And they have
You're
no
like, oh,
pictures.
this is
They have no
gory.
pictures
Yep,
up either.
it's like alpha
Yeah.
male, but the A will be a 0. Do you know what I mean? Like alpha male 1000.
Alpha, Sigma, Beta,
Yes.
Yeah.
Lambda, Duplo.
Dude, one of them was Piss Juice 69.
What, is it what?
Piss Juice 69.
Oh, wow.
And these
That's
are just
hilarious.
fake accounts that they.
Well, yeah, and then the one which we're probably gonna have to edit out if we ever post this clip, but they actually, one of them was "fuck you, Mr. Dunham," and I was like,
Really? That is funny.
No, don't cut that out. We're just gonna beep it out.
but
That was their handle?
That's funny.
"Yeah." They changed their handle and took my name.
How long does it take? This begs
They,
the question.
they were trying to mess with you.
How long
They
does
were
it
trying
take
mess
to
with you.
change the handle? Like, how much time do you have to
I
invest?
don't know.
I want to know how deep the
I
hate
don't know.
is.
I mean, they clearly
Oh,
don't
they
have
change
that
it
many
anytime.
followers.
That's fast.
Oh, it's quick.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's just probably a fleeting thought. He was like, F you, ooh, Snickers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
Dude, that's the way their brains work.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
Yeah.
know, it's everything is very fleeting.
Yeah.
That's
But dude,
funny.
that's so hilarious What were we talking about before
How you
we
got
just did this
into
thing?
dodgeball, but also how you got
Yeah,
into
what the women were like in dodgeball. You know what I mean? Did you
Beautiful,
Say bad.
loving, nurturing,
did same
catching,
yeah.
throwing.
They're
You married one?
protectors then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're protectors. They put their hand on the small of your back.
Yeah.
She's like, straddle me.
Exactly.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
So you got into teaching.
Yeah.
But you've done a bunch of different things.
Oh, yeah, I
So
did.
was
I mean,
the
I did-
dodgeball during the teaching?
Yeah, but I did econ, UCSB, and I wanted to be like my dad. I was just like, it's just really boring. And then I went into film school, and I was like, it's just too scary.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
you do that for 4 years. You
Yeah,
go
yeah.
down to Hollywood. You work as a coffee dispenser for like 10 years. You finally get to make Lawn Gnome 4, The
Yeah.
Return. I mean, and then you screw up, because the Lawn Gnome moves or something like that, and then your career's over.
Yeah.
So it's just high risk, high reward. Whereas people are going to keep having babies. There's always going to be students.
Absolutely.
Plus making films is the same as teaching. You got to know your audience, thwart expectations,
Yeah.
use the space.
Absolutely.
So, and you're always entitled to a sequel as long as people keep making babies.
Yeah.
So,
And
Right,
and
right.
you're giving back as well. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely. Nobody ever goes home and goes,
Yeah.
man, like Pauly Shore's like, wow, because I made In the Army Now, I have purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you want to sleep well at night.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
why he's wearing the same shirts from the 80s. He just tosses and turns.
Yes.
So.
That is hilarious.
I like Polly.
But then, let me ask you then, how did you get into teaching? Was there someone
Yeah.
that you knew? Or?
So it was my senior year at UCSB, and I realized teaching and film was kind of similar. You can make an analogy for that.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right. So I went to grad school, SDSU, and did 2 years there. And now I'm telling kids shorter than me what to do. So it's pretty promising.
So with that, it was like sixth grade. It was always sixth grade. Pretty much.
Always. I did
Always.
for
Never-
my student teaching second grade, and everybody just wanted to update the others on what they were doing. Like if you're in second grade, don't ever fall into this trap, the share jar. Okay, that's just the
Yeah.
devil's basket right there.
I got you.
Because the kids are putting in stuff that has nothing to do with existence. Like, oh, what's this? Susie is taking my air. Like, like
So something that you want to share with the class.
right,
and then it's like,
right. Bees can smell my feelings. I'm like, dude, just can we get through the 1 through 10 edition, please?
That's so funny.
That
It's
is hilarious.
kind of like kindergarten. Kindergarten, I feel like has to be one of the hardest grades to teach. When I used to sub, I would hang up on them when I found out it was kindergarten. I would hang
You
up.
must be this tall to get educated.
Yeah, dude.
It's just like,
I don't have the patience for it. I barely have the patience for seventh grade,
Yeah.
but kindergarten, because every thought that pops in their head, they'll be like, my dog likes the color purple, and they'll be like, do you like the TV show? It's like, do you like the Wiggles? And it's like, what's your favorite type of turtle?
Yeah.
And it's
What's
like,
your favorite
it's like, do you ever count the scales on a ladybug's back? And it's like all day, six, like
lost
like
my bird.
if
Yeah.
there's a
Every
ladybug,
second.
is there a male bug?
Yeah.
What's going on? How many spots do they have?
Yeah, and it's just I can't deal with it.
No, I get it. In fact, I
it breaks
actually
you.
I did kindergarten for one semester when I was teaching, like student teaching, and I just couldn't handle it, so I just snapped. So what I did is for all the kids that were misbehaving, I didn't teach them any of the vowel sounds. So like, no, I'm serious. It's not funny. I'm serious, man. So like, I'm back to school night. They let me go from the school because the parents are coming up and they're like, "How's your kid doing?" And I go, "Pedro, how you doing?" He'd be like, "Ooh." So
Wait, for real?
no, I'm just kidding.
What is my kid doing right now? What is going on?
Right?
I was like, you're like, I'm wanted for not murder, but whatever the equivalent is of not teaching vowels.
Right. I got
There's a whole
somewhere there's 30
sect of people in Los Angeles. People think they're a tribe,
Right.
but they're really just
No,
from here. They're like,
somewhere in the
"Oh."
Pasadena mountains,
Yes.
via no permit, there's like 30 kids that are now fully grown going, zzz,
and people are like, Trump deported them.
Exactly.
right? I love vowel sounds. I'm big into vowels. I use vowels.
The whole
Oh
time.
my gosh.
Right.
That is funny.
So funny, dude.
Thanks, man.
But the thing is, though, is do you ever experience? You seem like a very vivacious guy. Do you ever experience burnout? I'm on year 1 and I'm burned out. I came into teaching burned out though.
Yeah.
So how do you?
Okay, so here's the philosophy. If you're
Yeah.
not enjoying what you're doing, the kids aren't going to enjoy what they're doing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you got to sell the steak with the sizzle. You got to sell sand to the camel. Okay, Mark, you got a camel, don't you? So what I do is I have the kids, when you're burnt out, just go with the flow, man. Like today, what I did, I said, okay, you know what? If you don't take time, how are you going to have time? So we're going to be in the moment right now. We got the SBAC coming up. Let's just take a break so we don't get burnt out. So everybody close their eyes, you know, and I close my eyes too. You got to commit. You got to commit.
Yeah.
Okay. And I just have them just, inflate the balloon, deflate the balloon. Your head's a balloon. Life's a circle. Breathe in with your nose. Visualize. So many different ways to visualize. You can visualize the problems in the box, and then the box opens up. The balloon goes away. You can have them on a raft, and they float down the river. Maybe they see a parrot on the side or a marmoset. Whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. Excuse my language. They can go ahead and do water. Your blood's water. A little Tai Chi. Like, I swear to goodness. All right. I get kids doing this every year. They feel the tingling, and they're like, right now I'm feeling the tingling in my fingertips. So I'll have them put their arms at their sides and have the water, pretend their blood's water, arms getting heavier, just, have them give the water a shape, give them a color. I'm speeding this up, obviously. You need to control the moment and the tempo. But by the end, dude, they're feeling tingly, and you say, hey, man, you control the energy, and you got to control your energy. You can't take care of others until you take care of yourself.
So
100% true. Yeah. So I completely agree with that. And I try to do that. It's just been
lately. Have you done
lately.
that before? What have you tried?
So I do a lot of warm-up stuff. Like I taught them actually how to do like breathing, like diaphragmatic breathing. To
Oh, yeah, right here. Yeah.
A lot of times,
like
7th graders will be like, "This is gay," and then I'm like, "Except it's not."
If that's guilty,
at
give me
all.
10 to life. That's what you need to say.
I teach them with. I'm like, I'll be like, then we're all gay then because we're all doing it,
Right.
Right. But like a lot of times that age range is so sensitive with their ego. Yeah. I've been able to convince them to get in front of people, which I think is a huge.
And if they get nervous, you know what you do for the shy kids?
What's that?
And this is a fantastic one.
Make fun of them?
And kudos to that, by the way. You don't call them God's mistake or, so broke they can't pay attention. You got to move away from that. So what you do is, if there's a shy kid in there, and I do this like once a year, there's always that shy kid. I say, okay, everybody else in the class, put your heads down. And you go up to that kid, you say, you see that? Every single kid in the class put their head down because they want you to do well. So you're doing the Bruce Willis again, right?
Yeah.
Don't say yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. That's not going to help. All right? And don't tell them to be in a crowded space during Christmas time. Anyway, so then they'll do it. And then the kids applaud, and then you build something. You got to have those team building things.
See, this is your 27 years of teaching showing up. You are you're a little bit like Mozart
here's
at the
the
piano.
drama. Let's go back and forth. Let's play a little bit.
Wait, really quickly. He had a question.
Okay,
I could tell. So
no. What I like about him is that he makes fun of himself.
Yes.
So if you make fun of yourself, the kids are going to.
Oh, I do.
You got it.
I do all the time. I'm like, just because you guys are taller than me doesn't mean that you have authority. The kids like me. That's not the issue. The kids love me.
Yeah.
Like I'm one of their favorite teachers. It's just there's so many of them.
There's so many of them. Okay, so here's another way to embrace the self-deprecating that leads to motivation.
Yes.
I do the old man method. So what I do is first we do gradual release, whatever we're teaching. So if you're teaching some lines or whatever, and you're do it, you can still do it. I do, we do, you do. Okay. So I teach it, whatever. Let's say you're teaching scene directions, blah blah.
Right.
Blah. Okay. Because it's stage left, right? So you go ahead and you write whatever you're going to write up on the board, and they're doing it. They're learning it. You're teaching it, right? Then you go, okay, we're going to play old man. You tell me when to go. I'm going to walk all the way across, and then come all the way back, and then I'm going to solve this problem. And you have to beat the old man. So you have to answer it before I do it. So for an acting, maybe it's something you have to memorize your lines before I come back and memorize the lines. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have that competition and let them win sometimes. There's nothing more rewarding to a kid when you act like you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Yep.
And that's the elementary school stuff. I'm sure you've done this before.
Absolutely.
Tell me one thing that you taught this week.
Just to get them to believe in themselves.
Okay, tell me something in terms of history, science, math, or that's good too. They'll go to heaven, but how about something they can apply on a job? What Like times tables, adding.
No, I don't teach that. I just teach theater.
Theater. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. So, all right. Let's say you're teaching inflection. Okay. So you pretend that you're how old is the kid?
Let's say 10.
Okay. Let's pretend he's 5.
Okay.
Okay. Let's have some fun. All right. So he's 5. All right. You got off your diaper. You're a big kid now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna pretend to teach him. What's your name?
Albert.
Albert. Oh, this is great. We're into this. Okay, I gotta shift to make some eye contact. I gotta have some fun. All right, Albert. What's your name, Albert?
I said Albert.
Oh, good job. You were so good, Albert. I'm a little confused. I don't know what a kitchen is. Do you know what a kitchen is?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what tariffs are? Sorry, I got a little carried away. Sorry,
No.
You know what's going on right now. We just had the tariffs. Sorry.
What are you talking
Guess
about?
what, Albert? Nobody knows. We're all effed.
What are you talking about?
Side note: nobody does know. Everybody.
Yeah.
This is a new conversation. It's
Right.
almost like when Bitcoin first came out. It's like, what's a tariff?
Right,
You know?
right. I'm sorry to birdwalk, but my point is
I
they
got
get
you.
so excited
That was a good scene.
No, I got
when
you.
you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like Mark. I'll be like, Mark, what's 4 + 4? And he'll be like, 8. And I'm like, I don't know. Is that right? And Mark will stand up. He'll be like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he's
Yeah, dude. And it's
yeah.
like it goes back to everything that you want to do and be successful at. The sweet spot is having fun.
Absolutely.
Having
yeah.
fun.
Absolutely.
Where having fun stops is when you run out of energy. And that could be because of lack of sleep. It could be not liking what you do. But whatever it is, it's running out of energy. You
Do
know?
you ever have the kids?
And I love
Go
it.
ahead, I'm sorry to interrupt.
You got to be healthy. And then he's like just playing board. He's like, absolutely. My 6th graders are so wonderful.
Yeah, whatever.
Can we?
And it's like, hey, cut that out so I don't lose my job.
Can we
that's
cut
funny.
this out? The longer I put this here, the more
Dude,
this.
every time you say, can we cut this out? I'm like, of course. I work for the same organization that you do.
All right, so we're gonna
But-
cut this out. Here, wait.
We're
we'll just
gonna
go
cut
like
the
this.
whole
Wait,
thing.
hold on. Just
don't cut it out. Don't cut it
superimpose.
out.
No, we're not. Yeah.
Superimpose. There we go. And then here's the third one.
Yeah, by the
There we
way,
go.
nobody saw the label, so it was just almond milk that you were pouring
Yeah,
in there.
you know what I'm saying?
From Air One.
Absolutely.
all he
From
gonna do-
Air One.
Almond milk makes me laugh.
he gonna
I'm
do is
sorry.
like-
That's
From Air One, because you're on a teacher's salary and you can afford Air One.
yeah, that's great. That's
You know?
great.
So-
I love it.
Yeah,
man.
you know what Air One is, right?
Is that?
That's expensive ass store.
It's a
what
very
is that, like
expensive
an
grocery
iPhone
store.
or something for your ears, or
Close. It's a carton of milk is the price of an iPhone, but it's a grocery store in LA where
Yeah.
nowhere's spelled backwards. I love it, but
Oh,
you know,
okay.
it's,
All
They
it's
got great
very-
shakes for
They
like
do.
$20. Yeah.
It's very expensive.
So
very
expensive.
expensive.
But Chris
Gotcha.
teaches mostly 7th grade, right?
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
want to talk about making it fun? Most of 7th grade is like word problems, so I just personalize everything.
That's
right?
great. Absolutely. You get the kid up there. You know, you have them. You put him in the story, which is great. You
My
know?
big
And you
thing
can have
is-
him stand right there, and you can draw him in the story. You know, like, and it's fun. You're like, what kind of day you having? You know, I don't know. And you just put a deadpan. You know, and big eyes, but you put him in the story. Absolutely,
Well,
man.
I'd probably say my favorite one was when this year, where they were talking about a store, and I said, "Hey, let's make this a cell phone store." And then we started taking a poll in the class of like, what kind of cell phone should we sell?
Nokia.
Right? And then we took a poll like, yeah, no,
There's that one kid.
BlackBerry.
Bring it back.
Kids like BlackBerry. Who makes
they know
it?
what that is?
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, it was what Obama used to have.
Exactly.
But it was actually and then I made them the owner of the store. And so
that's
it was
great.
about selling phones and getting shipments of phones and
Right.
making all these problems. That was probably the most fun I've had this year.
Well, you know why that is? I'll tell you why. Because they're going to remember it. You know why they're going to remember it? I'll tell you why. Because emotional attachment. Let me give you an example, man. And that's how you get into the subcortex, the medulla oblongata, right? What's in this cup? Anyway, so let me ask you a question. Let's see. Today's Thursday, right? April, whatever. Could you tell me what you ate 1 year ago on this exact day?
In the morning, I for sure ate oatmeal.
Okay, how about for dinner?
Dinner, I could narrow it down to probably 3
Okay,
to
narrow
4.
it down. There's the key word. So, Your Honor, let it state for the court here and those that have been imbibed that he can't know for sure. Now, hold on a sec. What's your favorite food?
Oatmeal.
Ooh.
Right? Okay. I'm going with oatmeal. You tend to lead an exotic life, so we're just going to assume that it's oatmeal. So let's say you got in a food fight with your ex, and she's throwing oatmeal. It's getting in her ears, just wherever, right?
Yeah.
Would you ever forget that moment?
No.
Because you have an emotional attachment.
And she went into my oatmeal.
And she went into your oatmeal, which is a personal invasion of your personality.
Space, yeah.
So let me ask you another question. Here, let me ask you a question. How long? Let's see. You went to school. What? Did you go to college, high school? What's? Okay, let's say you did 16 years of school, right? For everything, right?
Uh-huh.
Run the numbers. It's something like 1,500,000 minutes of education, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I ask you to stand up here and recite word for word 3 minutes of something that you learned, could you do it with absolute confidence?
Something I learned.
Okay, you're pausing, so there's some uncertainty. Now let me ask you a question, okay? Do you know the words to your favorite song? Do you know the words to any song?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. How long did it take you to learn it? Did it take you 16 years?
No.
No. So it's an emotional attachment. Once the text is embedded in some emotional connection, whether it's oatmeal de carnival, or My Little Pony, just examples, not judging. There's an emotional attachment. So you got your drama right there.
We got a note
also
from outside.
how you felt during that time when you learned that song.
Yeah, how'd you feel? Did you feel anything?
Yeah, you felt good, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. So we just got a note from outside.
Yeah, I saw the ticker tape.
So the producer, just so anybody who's watching this, he is actually friends with the producer, which is how we actually met.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So they just held up a sign that said, "Ask about your coworker's class Instagram." I have no idea what those series of words mean, but apparently you have a coworker,
Okay,
which I'm
so-
guessing is another teacher.
Is there
and they
another
had a
teacher,
class-
Mark?
Class Instagram.
Oh,
what is
okay.
this? What is this? That
All
they're
right. So this
referencing?
is the public service announcement. Warning, beware. I guess he wanted me to bring up a teacher that got fired at my school last year. I'm not going to name any names.
Okay.
Okay. Don't.
Are they still teaching? Did they just?
No,
Because
they're-
sometimes it's like
Well, in LAUSD.
the Catholic Church. They just move you around.
Yeah, they just go, all right, you're going to be a sinner. There's some Wiccan down the street next to the Cinnabons. You can join that cult.
They just move you around.
Right. We just move you around.
parish to parish.
Right. Karma, maybe come back as a salad shooter. Who knows? But you can't be Catholic. So there was a teacher at our school.
I have no idea what all of that meant.
But
I'm like so confused. But
sorry,
yeah,
it's
I
been
was
3
like-
years since my last, sin. So, well, except for the lines on the freeway, those are just suggestions anyway. So anyway, so there was a guy last year that got fired, and LAUSD, it's very difficult to get fired.
Oh yeah,
Because the unions.
You could be
Yeah.
like you could be like Mr. Johnson ate a kid, and it's like what'd they do? They just transferred him to Van Nuys High School
Exactly.
because they just transferred him to Van Nuys High School. There's a shortage of math teachers.
Yeah. Mr. Johnson's not going to be in because he ate a baby
He ate
yesterday
a kid. Why? He
during
didn't know what the
French
square root of
class.
64
He
was.
ate
So he's like,
Exactly.
I just took a bite out of his head.
That's kind of scary. That's my last name. So.
Oh yeah, it is. Mr.
So
Johnson.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, Zoe doesn't eat. Dude, that's white people stuff.
Sorry.
Eating people.
Yeah, right.
It really is.
They
I
don't
never-
eat babies at Starbucks. Hello, defense. I rest my
Jeffrey
cappuccino.
Dahmer, Ted Bundy.
Well,
Anyway,
Jeffrey Dahmer just had a big freezer. I mean, he went to Costco, so
I mean, yeah,
he just
was
felt obligated.
He
you know.
just didn't like the price of grocery. He just didn't like the price of
Right, head of lettuce. My neighbor's got a head. So
Hilarious.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
he just didn't want to spend any more hamburger meat. He's like, I'll just cut up Tony.
Right.
You know?
Right. Tony tastes like everything tastes like chicken.
Everything, if you season it right. If you put it in buffalo sauce, I'm sure human tastes are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What is that, kneecap? No, that's Susan. Okay. But Susan's got kneecaps, Jinx.
Is this jerk chicken? It's like, no, it's just Tim.
Jerk chicken. Well, Tim was, he wasn't
He
nice.
was a jerk.
Yeah.
And a coward. So, yes, it is jerk
I
chicken.
only eat jerks.
Okay, I don't even remember what we were talking about.
That is hilarious, yo.
Guy got fired.
Sorry, a guy got fired.
Y'all got some thoughts. This is
Oh, so he got fired because
yeah.
the stories. I mean, we don't know the guy's name, so I'll just say some anecdotes
He's just
here.
anonymous.
Yeah, they would, and this was 7th. So,
He was a seventh grade teacher?
Oficina de Lechuga. Good luck, guys. Okay, so they had an Instagram of all the times he would fall asleep in class.
Wow.
So they would film him.
Oh my god.
You know?
The students did.
Oh, yeah. So you would rate, like, which sleep was the longest, the best, whatever.
Wow.
So one time they took
How
body.
old is this guy? Is he like 94?
Well, he's in the sweatpant years. He was definitely an older human. I mean, he wasn't 94. We're not talking about George Burns here, you know. Like, got no patience for my patients, you know.
Yeah.
But they would take Axe body spray, and they would spray his desk, and they set it on fire one time.
Whoa.
While he
Fire
was sleeping?
extinguisher in the while he was sleeping. Yeah. And so finally, right? Yeah, I know.
They're like, we gonna get this. That is hilarious. Okay.
Right.
That's so funny.
So, but there's certain lines that as soon as you cross, LAUSD is going CYA because it's the legal capital of the Mecca of the world. So you can't put your hands on kids.
Yeah.
You can't call them effing retards. Well, he didn't read his manual.
He called them retards?
He called them all effing retards, and it was captured on video.
Whoa.
And then after lunch, principal and the vice principal came in and just
took
get
him
your
out.
stuff, get out, right in front of the kids.
So did they wake him from his nap? And he's like, let me sleep, you effing retards. Sorry, Chuck. We got to let you go.
Sorry, you can say that down at the DMV.
I mean, I've seen people give up on the job, but to just take naps with 7th graders in the
He was
room,
over
how
it.
can you even sleep?
Yeah, exactly.
I
How
know,
can you do
dude.
that?
I'd
I
be
was like, yeah,
afraid.
this is nice and restful.
You
come
wake
on.
up and you're getting
Yeah.
crucified.
Well, it
like,
depends.
literally.
You know what? That's a great answer, and it depends on the period. If it was like the first period of the day, they're all sleeping. You know, because it's 7th grade, so they're all just like, "Hey, I'm chill.
After
you know?
lunch.
Yeah, and I'm just not my students, but I'm imagining what the mindset would be in a guy's class who gave up. But yeah, after lunch or before lunch, they're probably hyper as heck, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
My God.
Dude, but he gave up. He's gonna quit anyway.
Why did he call them
He's gonna
effing retards, though?
it seems
Like,
redundant, you
Yeah.
know. Like just pick a word, you
Yeah.
know.
Effer or retard.
Right. I mean, why do you got to go double barrel? You know. There's
Yeah,
seventh
that was
grade,
his problem. It's like he went double barrel shotgun, Chuck.
Right.
You know.
You know.
That's crazy. So he got let go. But it does take a lot to get fired as a teacher because there's such a teacher shortage. As long as you're not like, you know what I mean? As long as you're not like on the wanted list, like
Right.
flipping off the camera.
Right.
You could probably even be on the wanted
Right.
list.
Well, there's something called
know.
teacher jail, and it's Beaudry Building. It's downtown. And if you
Oh, I know.
get,
Are they
Yeah, the
sending
LAUSD
people
building.
down there still?
yeah, I don't know.
Because I thought they were going like first it was like almost like a rubber room type situation.
Oh yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
then then they sued.
What's rubber room?
I mean, dude, it was like you went into
You know, a
had
couple
your
sandwiches
own-
short of a picnic. You know.
Yeah,
It's
you,
like- it's
you
like that?
literally went in and it was just like your own little like an office space. Oh, it was like
Yeah.
your own little office space.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, and you had no access to the outside world.
Right, and they didn't even
like
anything
a
to do.
jail?
You did nothing.
Yeah, you did
until the legal
nothing.
process.
You
ran its
sat there.
course. And
You didn't
so-
know why you were there
Wow.
because
That's
they wouldn't
weird,
tell
dude.
you.
So it's like solitary confinement. They just
Yeah,
slid
it's
like,
like
did they
jail,
slid,
yeah.
slide?
Well,
you're
did they slide LAUSD
Devil's
food under the
advocate, your
floor?
principal would probably let you know kind of why you're there. You know what I mean? But yeah, they didn't know what the like how's
What,
your
so you
case
just sat in
going
a room
Yeah, and
by
then-
yourself?
by yourself.
No
Well,
computer,
they were little
no cell
cubicles.
phone?
They were just cubicles.
cubicles.
and you
that's
just
the word
sat
I'm looking
there?
for.
It's
Yeah.
like a Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
And
They
then
just do that thing
and then
with your
one day
eyes
they
open
just-
and then just
and then one day they walk in.
Listen to Barbara Streisand. You know.
One day they just walk in and go, "You can go back to school now."
Right.
Really? They don't question you?
Yeah.
Dude, they conduct their entire investigation.
Right, because they don't want to get sued.
Yep.
So
Who
you
will
are
sue them?
just
UTLA?
well, I mean, whoever's suing or this or that, or there's the Miramonte scandal about 15 years ago, and that just set a
Is
precedent.
that the cookie
man.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, there was $1 billion lawsuit that teachers that felt like they had gotten, fired for the wrongfully fired brought against
I didn't know
it.
that.
Yeah, and they settled. That was one of the teacher. Remember the teacher of the year? The guy, and all he did was say something. He was the one that would put on these amazing plays and stuff like that. He had written books.
Okay.
And he was part. I think he was.
What, he was
part
reading
of,
like Catcher in the Rye or something?
No,
what
what it was, they were doing the Emperor's New Clothes, and I guess they said he made a joke to someone like, "Hey, if we don't get funding, we are going to have to do this in the nude," right? And then they said,
good.
"Yeah, that's just a nice,
That's great.
funny,
That's clever.
Yeah, he like,
yeah."
really,
And
yeah.
then next thing you know, he was in teacher jail as well.
Wow.
So like there was as many cases as you hear about like a teacher doing something wrong. Guys, there's 10 more cases where a teacher did nothing wrong,
Yeah.
and they're in teacher jail or down in
Yeah,
Bo-
if this was Texas or Iowa, there's no lawyers in Iowa. Everybody's like the corn harvest is
Dude, I don't
coming.
even know what's happening in Iowa.
Well, I know there's.
I know
corn.
Field of
Really?
Dreams took place there. Shoeless Joe Jackson came back as a ghost.
Everybody's
from the
either
corn.
playing baseball,
Yeah.
looking for shoes, or
Yeah.
making corn.
Dude, Kevin Costner's still there right now.
Yeah, because
Plowing
of
all
his
his
divorce.
corn away.
He's wallowing
Oh,
and
yeah, that's true.
he's
Yeah, but he's got that.
that
What is it?
So do you?
Sorry.
Oh, so
Yellowstone.
do you know if this guy went on to another school or
So he
he's
was
just
in
done?
teacher jail for I think like a year. And
A
then,
year.
and then that was
A
it.
year?
There wasn't
And that's
enough
it? So he
video
went
And
evidence.
so you're a teacher jail. You still get paid or no?
Yeah.
You do.
Oh, that's
Well, it's the same thing. Any union is
Dude,
set up
that's
that way.
great.
The cops, the firemen. If your
yeah.
unions are strong enough.
yeah.
I'm not saying go down to Fifth and Sloss and start kicking a baby
Yeah.
and see if you can fall on the pillow of your union.
Yeah, be like,
But
dude, I need a
that's the way the-
vacation. It's like, I'm going to hit Roger today. Be like, I just need it.
I need 2 weeks off.
I need
a
a
break.
I need
Yeah.
a
Break.
month off. And be
Yeah.
like, hey, Billy, hey, guys, can you tape this on your phone?
Yeah, hey, the librarian's not going to walk right for a week. I'm going to be out. Yeah.
Be like, I'm just stressed out from directing Alice in Wonderland. I need to body slam the
Could you
librarian.
imagine waking up from a nap and your desk is on fire?
That's crazy. They care
That's
nothing
so
about
nuts.
this kid. They care nothing about this teacher, yo.
Dude, what happened to the kid though? Did he just like go back
Yeah.
to school the next day?
Well, no,
I'm sure, dude.
yeah, they didn't record that.
They don't
part.
suspend
Oh, I'll
kids.
tell you another good. This
You
is
can't
another one. A
suspend
teacher
kids.
got fired. Different school that I was at. So this teacher's name, I'm not going to say his name, but he was teaching, and he wasn't a good teacher. He would just kind of sit and like on the little counter and have sandwiches and eat. He would consume. He was a consumer.
Sandwiches, plural.
Sandwiches. Yeah, he was kind of a
guy.
husky.
Yeah.
I know what the French word is. I don't want to
So kids would just
FCC.
watch him eat Jimmy John's all day.
Yeah, right, exactly. Right? Where are we going? To the stomach. So he would just consume, and one kid gave him attitude one time and
he
got
ate
in his face. So he slapped the kid, right? So as soon as that happened,
How old was
Whoa,
the
whoa,
kid?
whoa, wait, hold
this
on.
was 8th grade.
Well, did the
So-
kid? Oh, wait. Did the kid slap him?
No, he slapped the kid.
Wow.
Kid got in his face, so he
He
slapped
was
the
like,
kid.
"Get away from my sandwich!"
I got a Miracle Whip right here.
Yeah, he squirted Miracle Whip on his
you're
hand
right.
and
Right.
he just made this.
Right. So what happened is the bell just rang right at that moment. So all the kids left, right? So he faked a heart attack.
Sorry, I'm like hitting the mic. I'm sorry. Like,
And it was great because it was like the Oscars. Because what happened, it was perfect timing.
Wow.
So what happened is the ambulance came. All the kids were outside at the quad for lunchtime.
Yeah.
Right. And so the ambulance came, and so now the kids are just wondering what's going on. So they're all coagulating,
Yeah.
Right? Like red blood cells.
Yeah. Okay.
And so the medics go into the room, and they won't get him because they know he's playing a fast one. So they leave, and then the guy had to walk out, and all the kids are just watching and booing and all that. And he got let go that day. So,
Wow.
street justice,
So
man.
he tried to fake a heart attack after smacking the kid.
Haven't you ever seen
there's no blood going to my
Haven't you
brain.
ever seen The Untouchables?
Exactly.
You send one of his to the hospital, he sends one of yours to the morgue. You got to up the stakes.
So, dude, but what was his? he should have. There was so many other things, he could, like a stroke or like something, because that affects
An
your brain.
aneurysm.
Yeah,
You
like
know,
after he
I
does
got
it-
ruminations,
Yeah.
man.
After he does it, he just falls down and
He could
starts
have
shaking.
he could have fainted or something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, but
Right.
so do they just move?
Yeah,
him
you
to
hit
a
him and
different-
then
What's that carpal tunnel? I got carpal tunnel.
Sorry, I have hand Tourette's.
Yeah.
It's just.
You're right. You hit him and then fall on him and be like, I don't know what happened.
And then, but it sounds like if he would have
Take
fell
out
on
a
him,
desk.
blood would have just came out from underneath his
Yeah.
body, because he sounds like a very jolly fellow.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know, I
Santa
mean, if all he
Claus.
did for
It
also-
might Santa Claus might have some competition. So.
Santa Claus, if he was in the Hell's Angels, that's what this.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
Have you ever gotten in that position where a kid really got hostile with you? Just got upset and mad and just wanted to.
Yeah,
That's a great
I've
question.
raised my voice before, but you can't put your hands on kids, man. You just can't do it. So and I got a 12-year-old, and I love him, and he's really sweet.
Absolutely.
And so
Is he sixth grade? Well,
yeah, he's 6th grade, but he ain't coming to my school. He got
That's
tested.
too much pressure.
He got tested gifted. Well, he wanted to, and
Yeah.
it's not as safe a school. So he got tested gifted. So he's over at Robert Frost.
There's a school
more
called Robert
trees.
Frost.
Okay.
You always know
Yeah.
the school's better because there's more trees.
Yeah,
you know?
100%.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
true. That's
yeah,
true.
and there's like
Got grass in front. Yeah,
Yeah, there's more like there's just
You're like, is there
there's
a
coniferous
babbling-
trees.
Yeah,
exactly.
They got
A
pine
babbling
cones,
brook.
and the
Exactly.
kids are throwing them. You know,
nice houses around the block.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I think that's the true test of if it's a good school. If there's coniferous trees.
What's the most difficult kid that you've actually had, though? Ever?
I don't know who the most difficult. I'll tell you the saddest one. I had
Okay.
this one kid, and his mom did crack, and so she gave birth to the kid. The kid was addicted to crack, and he
that's
had a
tragic.
colostomy bag, and he was 12 years old.
Oh my gosh, it's
And so he
heartbreaking.
just sit in the back, just eating Cheetos, and I was nice to him, but I wish I was nicer, because I just reflection, just relationships is what matters most, man.
That's so sad. Yeah.
So relationships, you gotta love the kids.
Absolutely have to.
Yeah, definitely. What would you say is the key? Okay, love what you do is great advice, but something a little bit
Let's
more.
pretend you're a drama teacher
no,
teaching only 7th graders.
Something. No.
Donde está el paycheck?
Yeah, no, because dude, I actually
I
don't
give
wanna-
you
I don't
the
wanna-
free piece of
I
advice.
I love the kids that I have in my class. I just have
Yeah.
too many kids in there for a
Right.
first year teacher while getting my credential.
Right.
That's my main thing.
Right.
But I digress on that. What would you say for anybody out there that is a teacher that's been doing it for a long, long time?
I would say,
And they're like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm feeling right now is they have to stay in it, because you can't just quit at 64 and follow your passion.
right. I'll give you
So,
advice,
what do you say to those
and then
people?
some inspirational stuff. First thing is the advice. Go home and watch. Just go 24-hour marathon. Okay, the refs. Watch World Cup soccer. Okay, World Cup soccer events, and watch the refs, and you're gonna learn something, and you're gonna learn the why these people are the best. Crowd handlers, however you want to call it, teachers, educators, coaches, guides, whatever. Number one, they pick their battles, right? Professional soccer players, just like 7th graders, faking a fall, right? Pretending there's bigger drama than there really is. And these refs, they know how to pick their battles. And then the second thing is, and this is the biggest one, never change your mind until there's a relationship, and then you can have Socratic discussions and all that. In terms of inspiring, there's nothing that's a bigger rush than having these 30 young, impressionable eyes. It's a very egotistical job, because basically you're making a bunch of yous. You know what I'm saying?
It's like comedy, in a way. It's very.
You're trying to get them
ego-driven.
to relate to your stuff. Hey,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
breathe, I breathe too. Cool.
Yeah.
Now we have a connection.
Yeah.
Right. You like to buy petroleum jelly with an Exxon credit card? What a small world. Me too. So you want to make a connection, and there's nothing more impressionable than these 30 kids looking at you, wondering what you're going to say next, and for you to be in the moment. I mean, that's just
Absolutely.
great power. And then you're just making 30 of yous. Have you ever, for drama, and this is what I was going to suggest to you earlier, you ever for drama just had them go up, and you could run this two ways. One, you could do what's your last name again? I'm sorry.
Jones.
Do a teach like Mr. Jones competition, Or you could
They do that
have
now.
the kids teach something, right? Okay, teach something, but teach it in the style that you, or you just let them teach and then you just watch it and you start to notice the little idiosyncrasies that you bring to the table, your uniqueness.
I haven't had them do that with me, but that's a great idea. I have encouraged them to, I'm like, guys, for the people who like don't want to go up,
Yeah.
I've been like, you can be me if you want.
See, but
It still doesn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a great suggestion.
Yeah,
That's a
thank
very
you.
great suggestion.
I mean,
So watching, you would say to the people who are deep in, like yourself, you've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
And then they're having a change of heart and they're like feeling worn down, you would say, watch World Cup soccer.
absolutely, man. Watch
World
the
Cup
refs,
soccer.
man.
Watch
Life
the refs
is
in World
about.
Cup soccer.
Look, I got hair at 51. I got a twin brother. He's bald. I mean, Telly Savalas is asking for a stunt double. You know what I'm saying? So three things, man. You pick your battles.
Yeah.
You stay consistent, and you have to freaking enjoy what you're doing. You're up there. Fake it till you make it, man.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
Why should they pay attention if you're not interested? You know.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, like, you got such a great just aura about you, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
And you're really good at what you do. I feel like, do you feel teachers are not value enough?
Well, with the recent 21% raise, I feel like you know what, man, you got to go into it not because you're going to get candy at Christmas. You know, I think we're absolutely valued, man. But you have to build that, dude.
You have to feel it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody's gonna, you know. I mean,
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
any job that's valuable,
Yeah.
you're not always gonna get the praise. I mean, a cop,
That's true.
right? A fireman, you know. Why do I got to pay for the ambulance ride? I'm fine. You know, medics.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Did you ever have a moment in your teaching career where you're like, I don't know, man, but then you turned it around? Have you had any of those moments?
Well, so I'm manic depressant, so I take medication. I've been doing that. My mom was super manic depressant. She was they did lithium, they did shock treatment. I mean, back then they didn't know what to do, you know.
Yeah, sure.
So she'd be awake for 9 months, asleep for 9 months, you know. So I big time ruminations. So, but that's
So you do have those negative intrusive.
yeah, but I do the medication, so it's fantastic compared to what it used to be, you know. But you gotta have a brain that's always just going, man. You know, because
I
the
get
student that's the beauty of it is this schematic, you know, the schematic playground that the word association. You ever do word association games with the kids?
Yeah, I do.
They're so fun.
Yeah,
man.
they are.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's why we watch movies. That's why we talk to people. We want to see their interpretation. You know, we're not robots.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel that, man. I feel that. Well, dude, this was awesome.
Thanks,
you
man.
You are very awesome. I feel like you have a lot to offer these kids. These kids are very lucky, dude, because especially, I'll say, in middle school, all I wanted to have was a fun teacher.
yeah.
That's the
You know what I
best.
mean?
Yeah.
Because it's the best. Because it's such a fun age. Because there's so much. You feel like an adult, but you're definitely not.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
not quite high school yet. There's just this shift that's happening. As you say, lumps of clay. By seventh
Absolutely.
grade,
Good
eighth
memory.
grade.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yes, I
Yeah.
think that's amazing. So, do you have social media? Anything like that? Where?
Yeah, he wouldn't get away.
I got
Yeah,
I still have
yeah.
Tic Tac and My Face. I don't know if those are still around.
What about MySpace?
The
dojo.
Master Dave's Dodgeball Dojo. Yeah.
Okay, wait. You need to plug. Sorry.
Just one quick question, man. How do you bring this home, or you know how to leave it at school?
I take a nap when I get home. I'm exhausted. my wife thinks I'm an idiot. The only time my wife laughs at me is when I like physically, you know, wound myself. She's like, it's not. She's from Guatemala, so she's like, "What are you doing? This is not funny. This is
She's like, I don't get it.
ridiculous. Why do you make stupid joke? What is aggressive panda? You do this for 6th grade. This is stupid." I'm going back into my tank to take over Ukraine. So,
Bro, you got great comedy timing, don't you?
Thanks,
He
man.
does.
I
He does.
appreciate
He
it.
does.
Comedy,
He's a
yeah.
comic without realizing it.
Exactly. for
Thank
sure.
you, man. I appreciate it. And thank you. The great questions, man.
Oh, no problem.
This flowed like the River Jordan, man. So,
Flowed like the River Jordan.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I almost started singing. At
You
church.
are my friend.
Flow like the River Jordan. That's not what I was about to start singing.
Okay.
We're singing two different church songs.
Wait, what
Dude,
do you
this is
sing?
the whitest thing ever. We're totally offbeat.
You are my friend.
Flow like the River Jordan. Flow like the River Jordan. And then it's like, yeah. We can sell that out though at
Yeah.
VBS, Vacation Bible School.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna leave LAUSD and start
Folks,
teaching.
I'm going to
Vacation
show
Bible School.
you with
You will
a
get fired
verse
from that
and a
job.
can of peanut butter. You can find the Jesus. All right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right,
Maybe not the peanut butter, but listen, it's been great, man.
dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate you,
Thank you,
brother.
bro. Thank you, bro.
Thank
Great
you
guest,
so
man.
much.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Much
awesome,
love.
guys.
Y'all
Yeah,
take care.
For real.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, bro.
He's still drinking as he's walking out of here.
He's like, all right,
Can
I'm
we
done.
have that? I want the whole episode. I want him walking out.
I want him walking
He's like, all right,
with that thing of Malibu liquor. We're
Yeah.
still going.
We're still going.
Guys, he's outside drinking
I'm
right
done,
now.
I love it. This is great. Just slowly get up from the table.
Oh, wait,
Great
Dave,
episode.
wait, here. I think he really is leaving. Let me actually, I feel like I gotta say bye off camera.
Yeah. All right, well, that's the show, guys.
That's
Y'all take
the
care.
show.
Peace out.
Later.
Another one.